you better be on the lookout. If you see this in a hotel room, get out and get help. When you travel, your hotel room becomes your temporary sanctuary. It's the place where you can relax, let your guard down, and just enjoy your privacy. Or is it? What if I told you that you might not be as safe and alone as you think? When your movie room could potentially be something straight out of a Hitchcock movie. What should you be on the lookout for, and how can you protect yourself? No worries, we have all the answers you need. But before we throw the shower curtain open on this horror story, make sure to click that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so that you won't miss any of the updates coming out daily on the bright side of life. Alright, back to the nightmare at hand. We're all well aware by now that technology rules the world. Every year we see new computers, phones, tablets, and even coffee machines with out-of-this-world capabilities. I mean, who'd have ever thought that we'd be able to unlock our phone just by looking at it? But with the good sometimes comes the bad, and in this case, it's annoying and nosy hackers. You think you're safe at home? Not really, since you likely have a webcam in your laptop, game console, and probably even your TV. Don't forget about that phone camera either. Well, at least nobody's watching you outside, right? Wrong. Just give a wave to all those surveillance cameras keeping an eye out on the streets. Okay, point taken, but hotel rooms? Really? That's right. Somebody might be watching. In 2015, a 23-year-old woman booked a room in the Oxford Wheatley Travelodge. Everything seemed fine until she went to the bathroom to take a shower. While she was in the cabin washing herself, she noticed something in the vent on the wall in the shower. As she looked closely, she realized that it was a hidden camera. As she later confessed to the Daily Mail, she felt absolutely disgusted and completely violated. As soon as she saw the camera, she stuck a fork in the vent to get it out. She immediately informed the hotel staff, who then promptly called the manager. The Thames Valley Police were brought in to do a full investigation. They found out that the camera was attached to a USB cable that was dangling inside the maintenance unit behind the shower, hidden among the pipes and other hanging electrical wires. The hotel's management claimed that the camera had been put there for maintenance purposes but no longer worked. The police dismissed reports that the cable was actually linked to a janitor's room and nobody was arrested. Does that sound fair to you? But it looks like this wasn't the only case in Oxford. Another woman was staying there for a business trip. On the first day of her visit, as she was taking a shower, she also noticed something unusual about the vent. She initially tried to convince herself that it just couldn't be what she thought it was, so she finished her shower as fast as she could. Upon investigating the vent, to her horror, she did find a camera. The woman described it as being held up by white tape in what looked like an attempt to hide it. When she informed the hotel manager, he immediately took it out and put it in a plastic bag. Luckily, the camera wasn't attached to anything at that time, and hopefully wasn't live streaming. Unfortunately, these aren't the only cases of someone's privacy being horribly violated. In 2016, a Pennsylvania woman found a camera in the bathroom of the hotel room she'd been staying in with her 11-year-old daughter. And hotels aren't the only place where someone might be watching you or your family without you knowing it. If you decide to rent private property for your perfect vacation, you still can't be 100% sure that you're safe from prying eyes. In 2017, a married couple staying in a vacation rental in Longboat Key, Florida, discovered a hidden camera in their bedroom. See what I'm saying? There have been several headline-making cases concerning similar privacy issues in the past, the most well-known of which involve Fox sportscaster Erin Andrews. Michael David Barrett, the man who had been staying in the room next to hers, carved a peephole in the door and filmed nearly 5 minutes of her changing on his cell phone. He later posted the video online for millions of people to see. Andrews sued the stalker for $55 million and won. But the worst thing is that no amount of money, not even millions in compensation, can undo the damage that's been done. Once something's on the internet, it stays there forever. Even though security companies promise that most Americans have nothing to worry about since the risk is quite low, you still have to be prepared for anything. You might think that these kinds of things only happen to other people in places far away, but that would be naive on your part. I'm sure the individuals whose stories we've talked about today also never would have expected something so traumatizing to happen to them. But in the blink of an eye, they were robbed of their privacy and sense of security. So, how can you protect yourself and make sure nobody's spying on you during your stay in a hotel? Well, the first thing you need to know is that cameras come in all shapes and sizes nowadays. Large cameras are easy to spot, so it's the small ones you've got to be aware of. They can be slipped behind furniture, in decorations or vents, and anywhere else you have trouble noticing. But that's still not the worst part. There are even special cameras that can be hidden in everyday objects like alarm clocks, smoke detectors, or picture frames. Yep, just like in spy movies. Nonetheless, there are ways to check for hidden cameras. The most simple one is to look for the lens reflection. To do this, turn off the lights and slowly scan the room with a flashlight or laser pointer. Your task here is to look for bright reflections of any kind. Seems a little over the top, I know, but which is worse, looking paranoid for a few minutes or having some creepo watching you? Exactly. Given the cases we've seen today, definitely check the vents along with any other holes and gaps in the walls or ceiling. If you're seriously concerned about your privacy, you can get something called an RF detector. It picks up any wireless cameras within a 10-foot range. Some of these detectors are so advanced that they can even show you what the camera is seeing, making it way easier to spot and disable. The only downside is that RF detectors don't work for wired and record-only cameras. As for anyone who prefers renting private properties over staying in hotels, check if the rental is controlled by a home automation system. If it is, all you gotta do is open the system controller menu and look for any mention of cameras. If there are none, you're safe. Let's say you found a camera. What do you do next? If you were totally unaware of any indoor surveillance cameras and weren't informed about them beforehand, you have every right to call the police. You have direct evidence of privacy violation in this place, and this crime needs to be reported. There might be other cameras in other rooms that guests don't know about, so you'd be doing them a favor too. While you're waiting for the police to arrive, make sure to document the situation with plenty of pictures and video. If you're traveling with your friends or family, ask them to be witnesses. And never be afraid to stand your ground. Hidden cameras violate your basic constitutional rights, and these violators must be punished. At the end of the day, all we can do is keep an eye out, protect ourselves, and help one another avoid such awful situations. For that reason, you should definitely send this video to all your friends and family so that we can raise awareness. If more people speak up and know about this danger, then we can put a stop to these pervs and their sick hobby. So, do you have any tips of your own on how to protect yourself and your privacy? Tell us in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a like if you found it useful. And remember, we have tons of helpful videos like this one on the bright side of life. So hit that subscribe button. Until next time.